Okay.
Okay, sir.
Vijay, shall we start?
Yeah, Balu, we can start.
Yes, because it's already two, right? Let
Yeah.
me check. Let me check the attendance. How many are joined as of now? Okay, very less. So meanwhile, as a recorded program, we can start, and so that it is already recording in online, and we are sharing link each and every one if they are not attending to the session.
Balu, you got the video link, no?
Yes. So shall we after introduction or before introduction we can play that video?
After introduction. After introduction.
Okay. Okay. Once I finish within a minute, and then I will play that video.
Yeah, yeah.
So good afternoon, one and all. I'm Balu Pravarakya, project manager in Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge. I'm the person who is leading this entire program end to end. And I think you are all remembered me since in beginning of this program. And also my uh, uh, partner Sandeep Mehta also here since beginning of this program. He is the trainer for English, and I'm the trainer for bilingual. And now EDP is designed exclusively in English. If you have any doubt, you can ask in Telugu also. I'm here along with Sandeep. If there is any doubt in Telugu, we have successfully completed IEMP, and now you are all submitted your ideas through Ideathon, and this is a process of entrepreneurial development program. To understand in a brief, we have learned how we become an entrepreneur in IEMP program, and after that program, we submitted our idea, and this is the program. How do we develop our idea? So just make it in a like a prototype. Once it's done, then definitely you will be connected with our ecosystem partners as you are viewing on screen: T Hub, T Works, TSIC, V Hub, and many more. So we are all with you to support, to guide, to mentor for each and every segment of this journey, and also keep attentive and be active to go through entire this journey. If you have any doubt, end of this session we will share you the contact numbers and email IDs and social media. You can get connected with us so that we will help you to out in everything where you are struggling in. And many of the students not attended IEMP sessions, so that we have also posted all the links in our official WhatsApp group. You can go through that links, and if there is any support, you can always keep in touch with us so that we can able you find out everything. So there is a video now before starting the session. Just tune your headsets and everything will be corrected, and have a notebook and pen along with you for this session so that you can note it down certain good points where it is required.
2014, when I was working on building an organization which would cater to the needs of women, or probably cater to the issue of women being treated as secondary citizens. The idea was to make public spaces more safer for women. That's when I came into contact with DBS Foundation. DBS came to Tata Institute of Social Sciences. They have in collaboration. They did help me in something which has been very close to my heart: gender equity, and how do we create safe spaces for women. I didn't have a business model or an organizational model in my mind then, so it was in the process of I was just toying around with different ideas, see what can work best. I took certain things on ground, tested them. Some of them didn't work. What happened was like DBS has helped me to refine the model from where I was, because I had very limited understanding of how to build business model or an organizational model as such. It has been a very fulfilling journey seeing women grow, seeing them sort of get that confidence, seeing them meeting their own needs by earning for themselves. This has been really satisfying and motivated us to keep on working on this issue.
Now it's your turn, Sandeep ji. You can start now by briefing video and the end of the session. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Balu. So, uh, I think in the video, you see a person speaking about DBS Bank, but majorly the video is actually about an initiative called Even Cargo, where what they are doing is that they are making sure that representation of women in delivery services increases. So, for example, if you order something either from Flipkart or Amazon or from any delivery services or the service aggregator, what you find out is in majority of cases, the male member would come and will deliver your parcel. So here, what they have done is increases in this domain. So now they have direct partnership with Amazon. Now they have direct partnership with other service agencies where they train women and then they directly get placed with these kind of service agencies. Why I have taken up this example? I think this was very important because today we are actually going to talk consumer behavior, as we have discussed in the previous sessions, and we'll also be discussing about various kind of customers which you might face. We'll also be talking about how you identify what kind of customer base you might have. We'll also be talking about how you can actually figure out what kind of consumer behavior types you can identify. So there are very basic simple questionnaires also at the last which you can utilize, and that will also be placed as an assignment for you. Yeah. In the meantime, chat box is open. You can always ask whenever you feel like. So these are IEMP timelines which we had, and this started from 15th of February to 5th of April. This has been successfully completed. The agenda and objective for this session was to these sessions was for to so that you can convert your idea into pitch ready. So these sessions, as Balu has shared, they are available online also. You can go through them and you can have a look. These both are available in both English and Telugu. Now, talking about the IEDP timeline. So today we have the third session, and we have already covered sessions. By the time we will be at our eighth session, we will be in a position where we will be able to finalize a lot of aspects of the business plan, and we'll also be able to present those the whole business plan canvas for yourself. So today, for example, we'll be covering majorly about consumer behavior, and we have already covered about market analysis and market things in the previous session. And I hope you might have done the sessions exercises on that. In the first, we have covered about innovation and being problem focused, and there were a lot of self assessment in that. Yeah, so this was the recap of the session one and session two. In the session two, there were some survey also. They were very handy survey through which you could have done a market plan for yourself, and you could have come into a position where you could have got feedback directly from your customer and could have improvised the products as per the customer need. So today we are going to talk about decoding consumer behavior. So we'll also be talking about types of consumer. We'll also be talking about what are the factors behind consumer behavior and all that. And we'll also be talking about what kind of customers which are there and in what categories you can actually identify them. So before we get into that, let us speak to Meenakshi. Meenakshi and Balasar is here, and Meenakshi is along with us. Along as Balu shared that we both were there, and there were a lot of team members there. But the Meenakshi and Balasar were also there. Meenakshi is also traveling her journey from IEMP, and now she is also with us in IEDP session. So today, Balasar is saying to Meenakshi that we are going to talk about the consumer behavior. And before we even get into that, I think that is very important to know what is actually consumer. So, what do you feel? Who is consumer basically? Anyone can be a consumer. Do you have any consumer right now? What kind of consumer you might have? Yeah. So, a very basic definition about consumer is that if anyone who is using your product or service or have purchased it because of their need or the family need or any other need, or because maybe not because of need, just because of attraction or something like that, the person paying something to you for your product or service is your consumer basically. But when it comes to consumer, the person who is actually paying off something for the product or service, what is the rationale behind that person, why that person is actually purchasing that particular product or service, is the consumer behavior. So both are important. First, you have to understand who is your consumer. The second thing which you have to understand is you should have categorized your consumer behavior. So for example, if you have a consumer who is purchasing your product or service, or can be a potential customer who can purchase from on regular basis, what is making him or her to purchase things regular basis? If you are able to decode that, you will be able to make sure that you are able to be with that customer on long run actually. And if the customer is falling out, what are the reasons behind that and all that? If you are able to identify that, again, you will be in a better position to take back that customer. So we will be talking about both the consumer and the consumer types basically. So if we broadly categorize, you might find out a lot of kind of definition which are there about customer, a lot of consumers, types of consumers. So majorly, I have identified these 5 categories, which basically actually helps you in getting a detailed understanding about almost all kind of customers. So the first one is basically loyal customers. So as the name says, these customers are very loyal to you. The second one is impulsive shopper. The third one is actually bargain hunter. The fourth one is wandering consumers. So as the name says, they keep on moving here and there. And the last one is need-based customers. So anyone who is having any kind of need is actually opting for your product or service. So we'll get into the detail of each and every customers or consumers. So before we even get into that, I'm taking a pause of 5-6 seconds, and I'm inviting you to write down what do you have any customer or consumer base right now or not. You can just simply write down yes or no in the chat box. So what I'm asking is, the first question to you is, do you have any consumer base right now? So if you are at idea state, you might not be having any kind of consumer, but if you have might have piloted something, or if you have launched something, then you have some kind of customer consumer base. That is the first question. You can write down or no. Do you have any consumer base or not? You can write down in the chat box. The second question to you is, do you know out here consumers or not? Right now you might having. So for those, do you know about your prospective customer? Yes or no? You can simply.
Sandeep we are unable to hear you.
Just a second.
Yes, Sandeep
Just a second.
Yes, Sandeep
Yeah, yeah. Think there is some problem. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
So
Sandeep
we were
you can.
actually
You can go
talking.
ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
There
Sorry,
will
sorry.
be, I think, low internet connectivity. You can wind up your video so that that could be bandwidth will be sufficient to continue the session.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
No, I think it will be fine now. So we were actually talking about different kind of consumers, and so I have put up two questions to you. The first question was, do you have any kind of consumers or not? So you can write down simply yes or no in the chat box. The second question to you was that, do you know about your consumers? Basically, what kind of consumer you have. So you might not be having consumer right now, but you will be having some consumers because you have an idea right now in place for those. So do you even know about them? Can you categorize them or not? You can just simply write down yes or no in the chat box, or you can think in your mind also. So I think these are the questions which you should ask yourself. These are the questions actually that is going to help you further to get deep down detail into a lot of aspects actually. So we'll let us talk in detail about the first kind of customer, which is the loyal customer. So as the name says, these are the people actually who are committed to your brand. So they will keep on purchasing from you. So whatever happens, so even if you're not able to provide them on time or something like that, they will be okay with that, and then they might also come back to you and all that. They will keep inquiring about your products and all those things. So you will have a loyal customer base. In lot of cases where the handmade products are there, you will find out a lot of loyal customers are there because handmade products are little unique. So whenever there is any kind of unique things which are there, so you will find out a lot of loyal customers. And but also in case of big businesses also, you will find out a lot of loyal customers where they were able to identify the need of the consumers, and also they are able to retain the quality aspects of it. So you might have, so if I ask a brand, so a lot of kind of brands are synonymous to actually the needs. So for example, if I say what you're using as a dishwash, so you will say Wimbar. If I say what you're using as a Almira, so a lot of people don't even say Godrej, Almira actually, they say Godrej only because Godrej has become synonymous to Almira. So that kind of positioning they have had. for loyal customers actually. So they might be a very small percentage, but they are someone very, I think they are someone who is very essential for your business, because they keep on giving you revenues. So not only they are the one who will keep you business, but in majority of cases, what happens is they keep on suggesting and recommending your products to other people also. So that really helps. So I think these handful loyal customers, if you are going to have, these are the one you should actually keep on targeting and make sure that they are not, the retention is there and they are not backing out. So these are basically loyal customers. So I think it will be good to understand it from an example also. So these are the three examples which I came through. So I think whosoever number is here attending the session, all of you might have tasted Parle-G. Everyone knows about Parle-G. Even my mother knows about Parle-G. My grandmother knows about Parle-G. I know about Parle-G. My the younger generation also knows about Parle-G. So I think in the same case, if you find out that in all across India, you will find out this product called Parle-G, which is a biscuit basically, and it comes in different sizes actually and packages. They have customized themselves also, not in taste but also into kind of packaging and all those things, 1 rupees, 2 rupees and all that. The second one is Lijjat Papad. So you will find out Lijjat Papad in majority, especially in North Indian states. You will find out Lijjat Papad everywhere. And if you want to be assured of the quality, you actually ask the um, and ask the actually retailers or the shopkeepers to give Lijjat Papad. And the best part is Lijjat Papad is actually made by a group of women. Thousands of women actually make it, but they have made their system in such a way that the quality is actually same. Same is with Fab India. Fab India, what they does is that they procure. They don't have their own production unit, but they have production from different parts of India, different kind of authentic designs and dresses, and then they make it ready for the customers. Sometimes they also provide the cloths also, direct ready cloths and ready-made cloths, but they make sure that the quality is same. So these are the three kind of brands which came to my mind that they have loyal customers, and I think they entirely have majority of cases of their customer base is actually loyal customers, and that has actually made them big and huge. So the quality has to be same in that case. So if you want to targeting your business, so I think that these are the three essential uh, three examples which you can actually go through and you can read about them in detail. So you will find out that how they are able to retain or have an loyal customer base. The second one is actually impulsive shoppers. They're saying, but basically impulsive shoppers are someone where if your product by chance come in front of the other person, and so they have an impulse to buy for it, and so they might not be your regular customers, but they will just want to try it. That will be those customers will be impulsive shoppers, but there are chances that these customers become the loyal customers. So in majority of cases you actually start with impulsive shoppers. So for example, in our case, we run a small handmade hand stitching unit. So right now we have around 6-7 customer base where we are actually making a lot of products. So there is an so what we are doing is we are making actually a clutch bhi de dena. So for example, this diaries we are making this these kind of hand clutches and purses we are making actually. So what happens in this is that we have put things on Instagram. So I'm just taking an example for us. And one lady from Delhi got interested and she actually purchased around 2-3 products from us. But she keeps on giving us a lot of businesses, and she is actually also selling our products to other people also there in the business. So, so there was an impulse for her, but then she became the loyal customer. Right now, so she keep on ordering and she also keep on getting customized products done from us. So in majority of your cases, you might be having a lot of impulse shoppers. So, but having an impulse shopper will require at least an orientation or a window where actually your project or services can be showcased. So you have to be ready for that. So in our case, when we started our Instagram page, we were able to get not more than 1 or 2 customers, but out of that, one customer has actually kept on giving us a lot of orders actually. So I think this can also be we can understand through an example, I think. So one of the interesting example can be Kinder Joy. So I think it plays a lot with the impulse of the child. Um, the colors are very unique. You see blue and red and white. It's not just a single color. So there is a shape of egg into that. So there is a very identical shape which a lot of people have seen. So then it is also when you open up, there are two parts to it, and then there are two kind of things into it. So one is the chocolate itself, and the another one is the toy. So it's a very interesting mix of both. So whenever you go and ask any child, I think majority of cases they say that we want to have a Kinder Joy, and it's a very expensive. If you see, go by the quantity, I think it's a very expensive chocolate, but they have put themselves into such a way that you will find out on all the shelves, the check where you are actually checking out. In all of the shelf, you will find out Kinder Joy. So when you are actually starting also, so for targeting the impulse customers, you can ask for having a shelf in the starting of the any kind of shop or retail where you can display your products. So same way, I think Kinder Joy you will find out at the starting point of any kind of shops or the malls or other things. The second one is Lay's. So you might feel hungry and then you might want to have lunch or something like that. But if you find out these kind of packages which are there, so you will end up purchasing that. So in impulse cases, you can actually use both. You can just use the impulse of the customer, but you can also target the need of the customer. So both ways you can actually target. But in majority of cases, in the businesses, you start with impulse customers, and then potentially a lot of impulse customers become the loyal customers. The third ones are actually bargain hunters. So basically, you will end up having a lot of customers who will ask. So we have a lot of this kind of problem. So we actually make a lot of handmade products, and what happens is they keep on comparing our handmade products with the market product. So sometimes they want it at very cheap price. Sometimes there are very kind customers, and they say you are actually selling at cheap price, but we want to have a little. You should actually sell it at a little higher price. So I think you will see a lot of bargain hunters in your uh, customer base or consumer base, where people will actually ask for a lot of deals. They will actually ask for a lot of varieties and other things, and they will also keep on comparing your product with the other. So I think the whole idea about knowing about the bargain hunters is that if you have a lot of these kind of customers, or if you have the product which potentially has the competition with the other products, so I think it's good to have a thorough understanding of what you are able to provide which the other person is not able to, or other product or service is not able to provide, because you will have a lot of bargain hunters customers, and they will end up having the products from the other service provider. And the fourth one is very interesting category. It's wandering customers, consumers. So hardly they actually purchase, and in stalls it happens, or majority of cases, and in malls also it does happen that when you put up a stall or you are in a mall, you see that there are a lot of people who are just roaming around, and then they're just seeing and looking at the products, and they don't want to purchase the products. But we have put up a category here. So I think it is also essential that sometimes people might get attracted, and they might purchase also things. So I think it is also a good idea to target these customers also. So for example, a lot of friends of mine who are running these startups, and right now they have a good customer base. So they started with actually wandering consumers. So they have put up their stalls in open area. They have put up their stalls into school, colleges. They were not completely they were actually completely unaware about the kind of consumers or the customers they might be encountering. So some people just keep on, they were just going passing by, and then they have seen the product, and then many of them have become their loyal customers also. So you can start with the wandering consumers also, where you can put up your product or service in a way where there is an inflow of lot of customers, and they will just have a look at it, but they might end up actually purchasing your product also. I think this is very interesting category, which says need-based customers. So a lot of people, you actually have focused a lot on the problem part. In the beginning, also we have discussed and shared that you should have a thorough understanding of the what are the problem solution you're actually providing to any kind of problem, and you should have a thorough, detailed understanding of the whole problem of that particular thing you are actually solving through that kind of product or service. So if you have that kind of thing in place, so you will have need-based customers. And once they have got what they are seeking, in that case, you are free from the competition, uh, and you will have their loyal customer base. But you cannot take them for granted. Also, you should keep on improvising. But if you are actually having this kind of product service which is very unique or solving a particular kind of problem, so you will have that kind of customer base actually. So I think this can also be, we can understand through an example. So previously Ash was used to clean the dishes, and also Vim Bar actually came in place, and right now also Vim Bar is still there, and I think it captures majority of the market. Bisleri is there. So basic essential commodity water, it has actually started providing into a packed drinking water. So if you want to be assured of the quality, you always focus upon that. You get the Bisleri water in place. So it is affordable also, and it is catering the need also. In the same case, Wimbar, it is again affordable and it is catering the need. So both ways. So these are the two examples which I found out that they are actually catering to the need of the consumers, and that is how they are able to sustain and come up with a big brand. So in that case, you have to invest a lot on the understanding the consumers rather than developing the product or service. So if you are able to understand that, you will be able to start with the product or service. So it once, so I think when you have an understanding of the different kind of consumers, you also have an understanding what kind of process you should actually follow. And we'll discuss that in the coming slides, where we'll be talking about the consumer behaviors and other things and how you can actually decode that. Now, Bala sir is saying that identify your consumer base, and this is also an opportunity for you also to identify your consumer base. So I'm repeating for Meenakshi. Meenakshi has an initiative called Mazedar, where she has come up with illustrative sheets, which are mathematical illustrative sheets, and these sheets can be utilized for different kind of purposes, where majority of it target is that you can actually solve mathematics in a fun way. So Meenakshi is saying that in the beginning she might not have a loyal customers. She might be having impulsive customers, but they will apply it at larger stage. Bargain hunters will, many of them will be there, because she's targeting the essential commodity, which is basically the mathematics illustrative sheet. So each and every person have that kind of need, either for herself or himself or for her child. So that will be there. Wandering customers will also be there, but majority of it, her would come out as need-based customers, where because she has started with that actually. The product actually has evolved because of the need only. So she's saying that I majorly will have need-based customers. So in the same way, you can actually identify what kind of consumers you have, and once you are able to identify that, I think you can have a switch between both, all of them, loyal customers. So for example, in our case, while I'm actually speaking to what I am realizing for my handmade hand stitching businesses, that we don't have a wandering customer and we don't have a impulse shoppers, because we have a very low online space. We are not actually putting up stalls because we have very low production capacity and all. So once we are able to identify, come up to that, I think we'll have a lot more customers. So that is my understanding I'm getting. Right now, we just have majority of it is loyal customers because my friend, families, and other people are there, and some of need-based customers are there. Now, Bala sir is saying that let us identify what kind of consumer behavior which are there and how you can actually decode them. Meenakshi is again excited to know about that. So basically, if we talk about consumer behavior factor, I think this can be categorized into a lot of ways. So basically, these are five categories which are there, and this can give you a better understanding of what kind of consumer behavior factors which are there. So first of all, it is a psychological factor. So I think in majority of cases we uh, give a lot of so if the product is seen, the product is mostly sold, and if the product is positioned to you again and again with kind of brand or something, so in that case what happens is you are able to purchase that and they are able to sell that actually. Sorry. So what happens in psychological factors is people actually um, play a lot with your understanding and mentality, where uh, they make an perception about the product or service for to you, and they sell that perception compared to products. So for example, when you see a Fevicol ka ad, that perception of they don't talk about Fevicol as such, but they talk about actually how strong it is and where it can be used and all that in a fun way. So I think that perception they actually sell over actually product or service. So I think in this case, the brand and perception is something which plays a very big role. And the second factor is basically there are a lot of other factors like social factors, cultural factors, and there are a lot of other factors also. So I think when we talk about all these factors, it's also very important to know that what kind of factor you might be targeting. So the second factor is personal factor. So where the gender, age, and a lot of other factors actually plays a very important role. So for example, what kind of product you have, that depends upon like what kind of age group, or the product service might not apply to all the age groups or genders. So in that case, the personal factor will have something in place. The social factors are there, the community, family, environment, what kind of locality and other things you are selling things and all this. For example, when we put up stalls for our product, we put up in the metro cities, we are able to sell it at much higher price, but we are putting up it at the tier 2 or tier 3 cities. In majority of cases, we are not able to sell it the quantity also and not at the higher price also. So the cultural factors are there. So for example, if the festival is there, so you might have a niche and then you might end up selling a lot of products. If the festivity is around, if there are a lot of other factors like that. So that is actually the cultural factor. There are businesses which actually only works for first 1 or 2 days only. So for example, they keep on producing things for only for 1 or 2 days. So a lot of businesses are run on Diwali, run because of Diwali. So they keep on producing things on yearly basis, and all of their things get sold off only for one day. That is for Diwali. Same happens with the Christmas and lot of other things also. In the other factor, I think it is very interesting. Government rules, regulations, and all that comes in place. So, for example, right now, little bit of booming is there of the biodegradable packaging material, because government has now banned that plastic material should not be used and all that, and that the prices has gone high. So because of that, that has become much more comparable to the biodegradable products. So in that case, these other factors actually comes in place. So once we are able to identify the consumer behavior, we should actually talk about consumer insight. So when we talk about insight, basically we are talking about what is the motivation the consumer have. So we have identified कि भाई हमारा जो consumer है उसका behavior एक particular type का है. The consumer has having a particular type of behavior. So for example, the consumer is actually purchasing because of the personal factor. So if a consumer is actually purchasing because of the personal factor, but why, what kind of personal factor which is there, which is actually making him or her to purchase the product, so that will be actually the customer insight. That might be different for different customers, but if you are able to decode 50-60 customers, in that case you will have a pattern to it, and then you will be having an understanding of the customers. So for that you will have to ask a lot of questions. You might have to do a lot of survey and a lot of other things, which we'll be talking about in the coming slides actually. And also the customer insight can be used for personalization, product development, customer service, advertising, and marketing. So I think a lot of products can be developed around that. A lot of improvisation can be done. So we are not talking about the marketing plan. You should have a understanding of that. We are talking about the customer insight. Sorry. So when we are talking about customer insight, we'll be majorly focusing upon the feedback, their insights, why they are purchasing, why they are not purchasing, and all that. We are not talking about the marketing plan. So we'll be focusing more about the customers in that case, and that can actually lead to a lot of kind of product development. So for example, we have this kind of clutch. So this is the, I think, fifth or sixth version. So this has come in place. So for example, there is a small packet here. So this has come in place because a lot of people have asked for it. We were not putting it earlier. The space of this clutch, which is in between, is actually of has reduced. We were actually keeping it little high, larger, so it was actually falling out. So once we have spoken to the customers, then only we were able to get identification, then why the customer is actually purchasing it or why the customer is actually not purchasing it actually. So I think this is very important to know what kind of customer which are there, but what kind of insight they have once they are able to, once they are actually purchasing your or using your product. And also uh, I will focus a little bit on these aspects, and then there is assignment to it which you have to do. So there are basically consumer behavior types. So you will see that there is a complex buying behavior. In this case, what happens is that a lot of factors are actually put in place. So it is majorly associated with the complex, expensive things basically. And there's a lot of research which a person does once you have these kind of customers in place. So for example, when you have customers who want to have a detailed understanding of the product, they would want to have a detailed understanding of it, and they will also compare it with other things and all that. So I think it will be good if you have these kind of customers in place, or you can target all of these kind of customers also. So for example, even if you have the product which can be shown well with the photos or something, so you should have also video for assistance in place. You should also have description in place. So in that case, you will be able to target the complex buyer behavior also, because they are not satisfied with just photographs only. They would want to have a detailed understanding why your product is priced at such certain type, certain price actually. What is making it more expensive or making it affordable or at a lower cost. So if you are able to put that, you will be able to target these kind of customer base. I think this plays a very important role in the online domain when you are actually selling the products. Then there is a dissonance reducing buying behavior. That what happens is that these kind of customers which are there, they will purchase your product, but what will happen is that they might regret it later. They might just end up purchasing that product, and they might not be able to use it and all that. So I think it is also very important to so for example, a very simple example I can give, this might term might sound very complex. So there is a friend of mine who actually makes toys. So what was happening is she was making handmade toys, and that was selling well. But she was actually encountering problem that a lot of difficulty was there, and a lot of people were actually not satisfied once the product were delivered. So what simple mistake which was there in that was that while she was actually selling the products, so the age group was not mentioned. So once you have that in place, and even the catalog of the product of the toys was made not with the categorization. So people were actually purchasing the product for their children, and then they were not aware about the age group, which because the product was looking good and all that, and then they were actually regretting it later. So I think it is very important for all of us to make the customer to have an informed decision before the person is actually purchasing the product, because that customer will not again come back in that case. Yeah. Then the third type of consumer behavior is habitual buying behavior. So where the need is the prime most thing, and then so the grocery items and other items, all these actually comes into the habitual buying, because a fundamental basic needs is actually associated with it. So for example, we have this diary. So this diary is basically plain. Yeah. So this might appeal to some people, but if I want to convert this into a habitual buying behavior, what I can do is, what we are thinking is that we are going to make it as a to-do list diary or a daily journal, where you can actually write about your feeling, what you want to do today, how you're feeling and all that. So if we have a simple print on each pages, and if we make a 60 or 80 or 90 pages ka diary out of this, so then we'll have a customer who will have this for their own habits. So with the same thing, you can actually your product can be made for regular use. If the product can be tweaked a bit, so you will have habitual buyers in place, and these kind of buyers have will increase your customer base basically. Then there are customers which are variety seeking behavior. I think it happens to most of the businesses, where people keep on asking about abhi kya naya hai, what is happening, and what new can be done, what new products you have, and all that. So that variety has to have in place. So these kind of four consumer behavior, if you are able to target, or if you are able to identify and cater to them, I think your task is done. And what we'll do is, I have also put up an assignment for this, and very basic simple questions, so that you will be able to understand that. So so what you can do with all this, whatever we have understood today, is that you can put all this into branding strategy. You can put them into the form of a technology or engagement. So all this is going to actually help you once you are able to have a detailed understanding of the kind of consumers you have. Once you have a detailed understanding of what is the consumer insight you might have, once you have the understanding of what are the consumer behavior which are there, so you will have much more deeper understanding of the business of product or services you have. So we have put up an assignment also, a very simple assignment, which can actually help you with, for example, how you can identify what drives the consumer behavior. So there are psychological. So as we have discussed, that it's a psychological factor. So what you can ask to your consumer is, prospective consumer, do you look for only established brands or for product, or not, for the similar thing which you are providing, or something very close to it? You can ask in the personal factor, do you feel the product is appropriate for your interest? For the social factor, you can ask, are product service affordable? For the cultural aspect, you can ask, do you feel it is appropriate? For the other factor, that you can ask them itself that what kind of other factor which might you might encounter. Yeah. So these very simple questions, I have just added one question to it. So what we have just added one question to it, but you can add upon a lot of other questions. But asking these one question itself will actually give you a lot of insight about your consumer behavior. Very simple. So this is the first assignment you have got. The second assignment is very interesting. Identifying the consumer behavior type. So for the complex buying behavior, what you can do is customer need detailed research to buy your product or service, whether they need it or not. For dissonance, will all family member will be happy with the purchase, or just the person is actually interested. For the habitual, can the product can be used on a regular basis, and the variety seeking behavior, will consumer will be interested in seeing the other range of products or not. So I think, or they will be just happy with the product. So these very simple questions can actually lead you to identifying the consumer behavior also. That can also lead to help you what is actually the driving the consumers to what are the factors which are actually driving the customers to purchase your particular product. So I think I hope you will enjoy this whole exercise doing and asking very simple questions, but you will have a lot of insights. So you might have to ask hypothetical questions. So be ready with it. You might not be having a prototype in place, but please ask, and at least ask to around 3-4 people in place. Yeah. So that is going to help you. Balu, I think we are done with the session, and we can share this copy of the assignment to them through different means we have on the task actually. Yeah.
Anyhow, we have WhatsApp group, right? We can share everything in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, that's there. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the one thing. And let me take as a presenter to move remaining slides. So another example is there, Sandeepji, if you want to tell anything about.
Yeah. So basically, it's about um, that Meenakshi is basically saying that she's happy with the that she is able to decode the consumer behavior, but she's also very excited about uh, identifying the consumer behavior, and also she's very excited to know about the various factors which might be in place for her venture actually. So yeah,
Correct.
that
Meenakshi started her career by asking a question initially to Bala sir. How
yeah,
to become an entrepreneur? Then after she learned about how to be an entrepreneur, can motivate himself to continue his journey.
yeah,
And finally, how do we found a problem and defining problem, then finding the solution, converting it as a business, and now we are in a position to understand the consumers and their behavior.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
that's all about. And thank you so much for all. And next session would be on 8th November to understanding customer personas and reframe product value. That's what the next session would be. And here is one more, not one more. I'm reminding you about the Win Mind Map software. I will share the link today and also shared it previously in the email and WhatsApp. Again, you can use this software to go in deep knowledge to find out the in and around problems and deep learning, subject learning, and new trends and technologies involved in your related to your idea and solutions and all. And regarding the software utilization and everything, you can always respond in the WhatsApp group so that we can able to clarify your doubts. So here step-by-step process are there. There are nearly 5 steps we categorized about the utilization of the software and all. And the final one is here are our email ID, WhatsApp number, and contact numbers. Wherever you want the support, you can always keen in touch with us so that we can able you get connected with you. Thank you so much. All the best. And thank you, sir, for detailed information about consumer behavior and types of behavior consumers and to understand everything. And definitely end of the EDP session, we will be get right problems and solutions and along with the pitch deck so that they can able to pitch their ideas and get connected with ecosystem partners. All the best. Thank you very much. Bye for the day. still there is a 3 minutes time. If you have any doubt, type in the chat box so that we can able to clarify your doubts.
Yeah, I think, and again, I'm reiterating that these are very, very simple questions we have put up in the assignments. So
Yes,
I think,
Sandeep. Yes,
yeah, it will
Sandeep.
be
If
great.
there is
Yeah,
if there is any possibility, you can post those assignments in the group so that they can respond to that
yeah.
event.
What I'm going to do is I will put them into a format of a Google form. I think that will be much easier for them, and we'll send it to them so that they can readily use it. Yeah,
As your wish. If
yeah,
you feel it is convenient to them, then they can.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So because
Thank
I
you.
think
Thank
these
you.
simple questions, what I feel personally is that in majority of cases, asking question is something which is missing, and especially asking question from yourself or from the other person. So if you have the right questions in place and if you are able to ask to the people, I think that really helps in developing your business or idea. So I think that is the first and foremost thing which anyone should do, and many of them are at a little advanced stage. So I think this is the right time to ask about the consumer insights and consumer behavior, because once you start doing that, I think what happens is that you also start developing a culture also where you are not just focusing upon selling the product or service, but you are also making sure that you are actually working along with the customer for their own needs and wants. So I think
That's
that
true,
really helps.
Sandeep. Actually, these are all the students in the classrooms and in the colleges unable to get connected with them on time and live. Most of the
Yeah,
students going after their college whenever they are convenient with the time and all, and we couldn't getting their questions on prompt and right time.
yeah,
That is the
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
And we will guide them in the WhatsApp group. And is there any other source, we will find out, and then again we will do one of the best to them.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Thanks, Sandeep ji. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye all.
Thank